In this video, I'm going to be showing you my favorite disc of 2024 and playing the front nine of my home course with only that disc. Disc is the Streamline range. I've got the Space Race Eclipse range, and then I've got the new Eagle Mcmahon Signature Series Cosmic Neutron range. We're going to be throwing these today. I'm going to show you guys how they fly, backhand and forehand, powered up and powered down, and helping you understand where they could fit maybe in your bag. The range is called a 2-1 negative 0.5 disc. I would say it's pretty true to those numbers, maybe a tick more glide, but they are very neutral. When thrown really hard, they are incredibly torque resistant, but they are slightly understable, so you can hyzer flip them. Forehand, they're way more torque resistant than they should be for such an understable putter, so you could forehand them pretty well even at power, and I think that's what makes them incredibly good off the tee for me. Good approach disc, but also I really like it for anything about 300 and in. Backhand, maybe 250 and in. Forehand, it's pretty good. Any kind of shot where I need something that flips the majority of the flight and basically never stops flipping. Since it's such a low speed, it does not have much fight back, even at low speeds. So if you can get it flipping, it won't really stop until the end of the flight. That's a unique characteristic that I think makes it like a special disc. So to start, I'm gonna throw this one, stock hyzer, so maybe like 10 to 15 degrees. I'm just gonna throw it, 85%. We'll call it 62 to 65 miles an hour, something around there. Nice smoothie, and just hopefully it flips up and just goes dead straight. As you can see, incredibly straight flight for something like a tunnel shot up to, I don't know, 275-ish, 300 tops. If you have some skips at the end, this disc is my go-to. I love both forehand and backhand flipping this thing up and just having it penetrate straight. It's not gonna go far, it's not gonna fade out on you. I think that's where this disc shines the most. Let's get to hole one and throw some shots. So hole one is a 207-foot forehand. You can go backhand, but I think the forehand plays a lot better and a lot safer. These discs will hold hyzer if you throw them without wobble. They're very torque resistant, and at this power level, we shouldn't have to worry too much about them flipping up as long as we keep our release really clean and smooth, which I find this disc is great for. So just a little chip forehand. Don't try to overpower it. Is it long? Oh, so good. So good. One more. Should we throw the backhand? Nah, let's throw the forehand again. Boom. Should be double birdies. You cannot ask for much better than this. I mean, both of them are absolutely parked. Run and grab the other one. Double birdies. This kind of hole is a perfect spot to use a disc like this as long as you have a good forehand release. Had to skip hole two. They're doing course maintenance. They're grinding up branches. So hole three is a 269-foot left to right hyzer. Tricky shot for this kind of disc in my opinion. I like to throw something pretty overstable, just straight through the gap. But I can throw two lines with this disc and get there. I can throw just flat straight through the middle of the gap and let it just drift right and slowly gain anhyzer throughout the flight. Or I can throw pretty much a power forehand on quite a bit of hyzer, letting it stand up and basically pushing hyzer all the way to the basket. I think the backhand's probably easier. So we'll start with that, and then maybe I'll go get him and we'll try the forehand. So just flat, make through the gap. I'm pretty sure that's like 10 feet. Probably parked. And then same thing here, maybe a little tiny bit less flat. Yeah, dude. Gaining anhyzer throughout the flight. Nice little slide up. Maybe like a 30 footer on that one. All right, went and grabbed them. Both were in circle one, maybe 20 to 25 feet. Not bad. Now, I'm gonna try the forehand. This is not a shot I would throw at this disc normally. It's just a little too finicky. If you turn it over, you're not even gonna have a chance at birdie. There's a lot more like consistent shots to throw here, but I think it's a shot that this disc can do if you have a clean enough forehand and enough power. And since I tend to wobble my forehand more when I throw it even harder, I'm gonna try to power up on these 85%, maybe 62 miles an hour, and keep the release clean, keep the spin high, and see if I can get these to hold hyzer at that power level. All right, let's see if we can do it. It's nice and flicky. It's gotta be quite a bit of hyzer. Okay, short. I didn't throw it as hard as I needed to, but the release was really good. So I need to do that just a little harder. Yep, turned it over. Wow. Yeah, not a clean enough release on my forehand for throwing, you know, a 62 plus mile an hour shot on my forehand and keeping the wobble low enough to not flip these guys over. Now that we are away from kind of the noise of the course maintenance, let's talk about the difference between these two discs. This is the Eclipse Space Race, and this is the Cosmic Neutron Eagle Mcmahon Signature Series. By the way, this stamp is just sick. There are a bunch of cool color combos for it. Now, the difference though, I find the Space Race range to be a little bit shallower. This feels a little more chunky in the hand. So if you're someone that doesn't love super shallow discs, I'd recommend this Cosmic Neutron guy. And if you're someone who just wants flat and shallow as can be, I like the Space Race a little better for that slot. They fly almost identical. As you guys have seen here, like, they're both just dead straight. They hold whatever line you put them on. They don't fight against you or for you. So this is hole 3, 219 feet. We're gonna go backhand, and then maybe if we hit the Mando, we'll go forehand on the second one. Sit down. Beautiful. Little long, little right. And then we'll go forehand. It's gonna need a bit of hyzer to actually get that far. Aim at this left pull here. Just try to get a clean release. Yes, dude. Perfect. All right, here's the results. Forehand, pretty much parked. And the backhand, actually probably similar distance, about 20 feet, maybe. Yeah, 25 maybe. We are skipping hole 5. It's like a 375 foot spike hyzer, so not something these discs are really capable of. So hole 6, this is a 291 foot. Basically, it's a forehand hyzer, but you can go with the backhand turnover. I think we're going to do one of each. We'll start with, actually, I'll use this guy for the turnover. We'll start with the turnover, high on a little bit of ante. That's really good. Maybe even parked. I had to go run and get my towel before it got eaten by the course maintenance. All right, it's gonna have to be a lot of hyzer if I'm gonna be able to put the amount of power I need to get there on this disc. We just gotta try to put, 30 degrees of hyzer and a really clean release on it is the goal. All right, clean. Yeah, come on. Beautiful. Both putts. I think the first one's probably a little better. Hopefully you guys aren't getting mauled by the wood chipper sounds. This is not a putt really. Unfortunately, we just got a tree in the way. I'm gonna try to go through this little gap here. Oh, close. And then I think the backhand, we're pretty much parked here. Honestly, just a little unlucky with the placement from the forehand, but the line and the power level was pretty good. Maybe a little bit more power, it would have been able to get kind of through this little gap. On this hole, I'm gonna do my best to give you guys kind of the flight, what it looks like when you throw it really hard. This is a 377 foot kind of right and then left at the end shot. These discs are not gonna be able to get there, but I do wanna show you what they fly like on a lot of power. And this hole should be perfect for that. I'm gonna throw it on about 20 degrees of hyzer and just hit it very hard. We didn't get through the branches. Maybe a little less hyzer on this next one. Trust it a little more. All right, straight down the line. Just dead straight. Even on some hyzer, even high, it's just not gonna fade out on you. So for a shot like this where you really want to fade at the end, not gonna be the disc for you, but I do wanna show you what it flies like at full power. So you can kind of get an idea how it might fly for you. Real quick, just to give you guys kind of an idea of what you're working with here. This is 309. So about, I don't know, 85-ish% power. Smooth, not like yanking, not bouncing my wrist at reach back, adding wobble, yanking it over, or anything like that. Just a nice, like, controlled amount of power. 310-ish feet. I think if you really crank it as hard as you can, you could probably push 340, 350 with it. But that's not really what this disc is for. And this is the kind of shot I love to use this for. As you saw, you can just pound on it on a little bit of hyzer, stock hyzer angle, and it just ends completely straight and flat and just plops down. No skip, no slide. Perfect for like a tunnel shot. All right, this is hole 8, 367 foot hyzer. Okay, this is a hole that these discs are not gonna be able to get to. But I wanna show you what it looks like when I absolutely cream this on a good amount of hyzer, maybe 30 degrees of hyzer up high, let it flip most of the flight, and just hit it as hard as I can. So the goal for this hole, I'm gonna say, is to get into circle 1. If we can get this 330-ish on a hyzer, that would be a huge win. It's gonna have to be high though. These things do not have like the lift that a high-speed disc has. So you gotta really crank this up on a lot of hyzer and really hard. Come on. No, it's just falling out of the sky. All right, it's probably like a 40, 50 footer. Gotta be a little more direct. I was a little too high there, not like penetrating enough. So I'm gonna try to go this low line a little more and just give it spin like crazy. Get by it. Keep flipping. Oh, that's a putt for sure. All right, I think maybe 40 to 50 on both of those. We'll check. Pinky was a little shorter than expected. Definitely outside the circle, and this is probably edge of circle. I think this is, I can't tell exactly, but it's right on the edge, maybe just outside. Hey, birdie, 367 foot hyzer with a range. Let's go. Oh, almost doubled it. See, this disc, if you have a good ADV, maybe 45 plus ADV on the tack disc, and you throw hard, this disc is gonna be so shapeable and workable for you. It's so torque resistant that you can really hammer it on lines, and it just kind of like, it's very subtle in the flip up. It's very subtle in the fade. It's gonna stay on the line you put it on the entire flight. That flight there, threw it on hyzer and it just baby flipped the entire way. And there are other times where you can throw it a little lower and a little more nose down, where you can get it to kind of flip up to straight over a long period of time. So you can throw it on 30 degrees of hyzer, nose down, have it get around something, and then pan to flat and just land flat and no skip. So sick disc, really stoked to get the birdie on this hole with it. And we got one more hole to show you guys. It's another long one, so see if we can get it. Feels like the wind is a headwind now, so probably makes this even harder. It's gonna take some distance off for us, and it's gonna flip us over. We can't go high and like nose uppy because the ceiling off the tee. So we're gonna have to just put it on a lot of hyzer and try to keep the nose neutral. It's just, I think this shot might be impossible in this wind. Push, push, push. Come on. Give me a putt. That's a 45 footer. It needs to be even harder than that, which is just impossible, man. Harder than that. That was basically perfect height, perfect angle. Oh, maybe a little more nose down. It's maybe something I could do. All right. No, man. I tried to cut it closer. It's just so freaking hard to get the disc high enough on a hole like this. All right, guys, we are back at the house. I realize I cut out the outro and me banging the putt on hole 9. I did get the birdie there, which is super dope. I birdied 8 and 9 with the range, which so stoked about. You know, birding 350 plus foot holes with the range is just super cool. And it's in the spirit of Eagle Mcmahon. So I think it's a good way to showcase this disc. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope it kind of shed some light on how the range flies and how you might be able to fit it into your bag. If you have any suggestions on discs you want me to review next, leave them down in the comments. And until next time, peace.